Hello, everyone from the Motherhood. So we're going to announce the winner. I don't actually know who the winner is yet, but what I've done for this month, and it will be moving forward, is each month I'm going to choose somebody else to go through your work. And we're going to just have a chat and a discussion about your work. And Rachel is the one who's going to announce the winner. So sorry, I have to introduce you as well. This is Rachel Movitz. She's a very, very good wedding photographer. We are planning on working together this year in Italy, aren't we? If it goes ahead. Hopefully. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the screen and then we're going to chat and Rachel's going to tell us her opinion on what she likes and doesn't like or whatever. So, okay, behind the window, January challenge. This is Victoria Webb's photograph, black and white.
Okay, so what I really liked about the photograph is just, the boy kind of immersed, and obviously we're all there with that kind of being immersed in the computer and, boredom, I guess, and just sitting around reading and just sitting around all day these days.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have been stronger. And this is actually with a lot of them, I felt they could have been stronger if you're not competing for the subject. So the subject, I feel, is the boy who's reading, but he's competing a bit with that light. So if that light had been illuminating him and not been in the picture, it would have been a much stronger photograph. So yeah. I like the lines, and I like that you can kind of see that you're kind of peeking in at this quiet moment with this boy. But I think, the way it's kind of competing with the light to be the subject.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and yeah, I actually agree. I love the way he's lit, and I like the way that he's not actually looking at camera. I think he's reading a book. Yeah. He's just lost in his world, and we're just poking in. Okay, I'm going to move on. This is Ellie Sharp's.
Love it. It's a beautiful photograph, really well composed. Her eyes are beautiful. It's lit well. The colors are great. I think it's just a really beautiful portrait, and probably something that she will love when she gets older. She'll look back and go, "Wow, I love that photo."
Yeah, I agree. It's a really nice portrait of this time. It's very pleasing as well, isn't it? And her freckles, I always like her little freckles.
Yeah,
really framed really well. Well done, Ellie. Okay, Nadine.
This is again where I was looking at it and thinking, well, it's a really nice photo, and it's really, also about this time, about being inside and looking out. But again, the lighting, you have on one side, you have the table and this very bright light, and the boy's face isn't lit, which would be fine, but I think it's just that bright light, your eye gets drawn to the light half of the photo.
Yeah, that's
where right. What's kind of more interesting is the boy. So maybe if that light had been turned off and you just saw the candles in the background on the table, and if somehow he was a little bit more, it would have been a fantastic photo.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. Okay, well done, Nadine. Okay, Sarah.
Oh, it's such a beautiful portrait of obviously her daughter.
Yes.
Everything about it is gorgeous. The colors are gorgeous. The girl is gorgeous. The pinks and the looking out. The only thing I would suggest maybe is sometimes, and also this I felt like in a few of them, and I think a lot of photographers, I think it's the way the camera is sometimes when you're focusing dead in the middle, which was on her eyes. So that would be the dead middle of the photograph. But I would have liked to see her hands. So if you just put the camera, tilt it down just a little bit so you can see what her hands are doing, I think it would have been a more interesting photograph. And I think this is, autofocus is a little bit to blame for these kind of things. But I remember one teacher saying to me once, if you have a portrait, you got to see the hands, because the hands say so much. So I would definitely have put the hands in there.
Yeah, that's a really good point, everyone, to kind of take away. You could either physically get lower, or you could tilt the camera lower And another obvious one would be to actually lift the hands. She could lean on the glass or have them leaning against the wall or something like that, I guess. That's a really, really good point, actually. Thanks for that, Rachel. And well done, Sarah. Okay, this is Sophie.
I think this is an amazing photograph of our time, and it's obviously it tells a story.
Yeah.
And it says so much about, like, you know, you're unemployed, you're at your job trying to, you know, kind of put this sign up saying that you're going to be closed for the lockdown, but you have your kid in your other hand.
The juggling.
And it just says so much about, you know, this could be in, you know, on the cover of some magazine, or, you know, just it really tells the story about, you know, lockdown 3.0.
And I also,
photo.
Yeah, I also really like, you know, it's quite steamy in there. Yeah, I like the kind of imperfections of where we are today almost.
Yes. And, you know, you can tell it's like it's winter, and it's like you have that steam because it's like it's cold outside and it's kind of humid and horrible, and you've got, you know, you have to carry your kid to work. It's just great photo.
Yeah, well done, Sophie, really good. Creeper.
Oh, this is really lovely. I love the composition, and I think it was a good choice to put it in black and white. I love the way it's framed, and the chair in the background, how it kind of leads to the cat, and how the cat is really crisp, and you know, you can see the texture of his fur. You almost want to reach out and kind of pet him. Yeah, it's a beautifully, beautifully composed photograph. There's like, it's perfect, you know, and it's really well lit. And when I was talking about the subject a minute ago, I would definitely say that your eye instantly gets drawn to the cat, and you know that's the subject. And everything else just kind of adds to the image. So I think it's a beautiful image.
Everything else is kind of soft or blurry, or has reflections, you know, layered on it. And yeah, the cat is very, very clearly in focus, nothing distracting, you know, the face area, the eyes. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I love his or her, I'm not sure, little like real character in his face that is very clearly we're all looking at.
I would, if that was my cat, I would print it and hang it on my wall.
Oh, great. Sure. That's brilliant. What a review. Well done.
Yeah, really lovely.
Okay, Tracy.
Really lovely light with the fairy lights just lighting her face. I think that was a really great choice. Yeah, it's very subtle, but I think it's a quite nice portrait of her. I don't know what else to say about it, really. Just that it's a nice portrait of obviously her daughter.
Yeah. I mean, I really like it. I think it's quite emotional. I definitely have the feeling of, you know, her looking out, her dark. It reminds me a little bit of a painting, I'd say. Got kind of that painting, and I also like the way only half of her face is lit.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, completely, you know, in the shadows. Well done, Tracy. Very good. Nicola.
I think the concept of this, first of all, the cat is fantastic.
Yeah.
The whole photograph it's just a really great photo of our time. Like, you've got the sofa with all the blankets and the stuff, and she looks completely bored and just staring out into space. I don't know how you got that cat to pose that way. The only one thing I would say again is when we were talking about when I was talking before about the lighting, the walls are really bright, and so it kind of detracts from the image a bit. I would have liked to see like the subject, or the subjects. I guess there's kind of two subjects, but I think it's just a bit bright with the light on the white wall.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, the cat seems quite lit, but so this is Nicola. It's a self-portrait. It's her in the photograph, and yeah, I guess the shadows in this sense aren't as strong. We want her face lit in this.
Yes, definitely. And we don't want the wall so bright that it detracts from it.
Right, yeah, so that's definitely something we need to experiment with. I mean, bearing in mind our workshop has only worked with natural light, so this is the first time a lot of us have played around with darkness and stuff. So I think, I think, Nicola, what you've done has been, very, very challenging. And I think for the knowledge that we know, and with lighting, we don't know much apart from natural light, I think it's been a huge achievement. But yeah, I totally hear what you're saying with some things being too bright. So yeah, thank you, Rachel, and well done, Nicola. Okay, Lucy.
I think this is just a fantastic photo. I love everything about this photo. The boy's face, I like how he kind of looks a little grumpy.
Yeah.
The little brother kind of looking up at him. I think there's a story there, and you could say a lot about the relationship between the two of them, the boredom of lockdown. You also kind of see the boredom of the lockdown and like, oh God, just get me out of here.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful, wonderful photograph. I would have just cropped slightly in on the right. I don't know, if it's the right side.
Yeah.
The white is. Just so he was a little bit more I think it's just slightly distracting, the white, but I really love I love this portrait. I love the photograph so much. I think it's really, it looks like it could even be a series between these, the two brothers.
Yeah. Well, I really liked, so Lucy photographed a few and she was talking about, and what I really liked about this was that her reflection, which we can't really see, is actually making his face really clear, because there's no reflections on his face because her hair
is there. Exactly. And you can kind of see like that kind of, there's also a story between the photographer and the boy as well.
Yeah.
I think it's the mom.
Yeah, absolutely right. Oh, well done, Lucy. Lauren.
Again, I really like that you're kind of peeking into this. I would have liked to see his face lit a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I do like how it's framed.
Yes.
And so the framing, I think, is really good. And I do also, I think the choice of black and white was good, because I think were it in color, it might have been too distracting.
Absolutely, I agree. I think black and white has just made it, it's almost quite film noir, isn't it, with the lines and the shapes and the lines.
It looks a bit like, a stalker looking in.
Yeah, very like Peeping Tom type thing. Brilliant. Well done, Lauren. Emily.
Again, it's just such a quiet, lovely moment of, and you're just sitting there reading, and I think it's beautifully composed. I like the reflections a lot. She could have kind of played around a little bit with the composition, like moving the camera from, she probably did, but I really like the focus on the girl in the book, and the softness of it, and that kind of quiet moment. I guess the triangle here, the white triangle, bothers me a little bit. I mean, it doesn't really detract from the photo, but I don't know what that is, what's in the way there. But
on the left?
Yeah, I guess it's on the right.
Oh, on the right is the actual window pane.
Oh, is it the window pane? Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe play around, if I'm taking photographs, I assume she did anyway, but I kind of take 10 of the same thing. But yeah, maybe without that, looking in a different position. But I like the way her knee is as well, the way her leg is, and she looks like she has a little cut on her leg. So it's just, I don't know, really great.
Those details, yeah, brilliant. Well done, Emily. Anna.
I would have liked to see this one just a little bit more in focus, I guess. But I do like the framing of it, like you're kind of looking, again, peeking in at this kind of little moment of him, obviously cooking. And I'm happy that he's using a red pot, because I think that really adds to it.
Yeah, you're right. I never actually realised that before. But yeah, you're really drawn, your eyes drawn to the reds immediately, actually. So
you're drawn into what the subject matter, which is like the kind of the cooking. So I think that red pot was either lucky or a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it was black, it would be very, very different.
Yes.
Brilliant. Well done, Anna. Okay, Carrie.
I think this is beautiful. I love this portrait. A few things, like I might have again lit his face just a little bit more, because it looks like the light is more in the bottom right. So there's something about, I would have liked to see his face a little bit more, and maybe the white thing in the middle taken away. But yeah, I love A Kiss Goodnight.
Yes.
And it's just, this, kind of, we've all been there with a kid, kind of getting ready for bed. He looks like he's just gotten out of the bath, and, it's raining outside, and it's really, really lovely. Beautiful.
I love The Kiss Goodnight, which almost looks like it's lit by candlelight. I don't mind kind of the exposure on his face, but I do hear what you're saying. The light behind him is quite strong, but I love kind of the water that's dripping down and masking his face with those kind of textures. I just think it's I think it's such a wonderful portrait. Well done. Okay, Louise.
Stunning. I think it's really everything about the photograph is wonderful. The framing, it's a perfect frame for her. I love her hands.
Yes.
The hands are amazing. Just kind of, again, that peeking out, and this light in the top right.
Yeah.
Also, it really goes with her jumper, and just really adds something to it, having that light there.
So that is so interesting, because for me, I love this photo. It's, for me, I'm inspired by it. I love the color, I love the texture, because of the window, but that light for me is distracting. So it's really interesting to hear, another photographer.
Yeah, I think it does. It almost looks like a sun.
Yeah.
Coming from the background, and I'm just trying to think of it without it. I think it's more interesting with it.
Yeah.
Actually, and it just adds a little more texture to that. I mean, it's a really cool textured window.
Yeah.
So especially, both of the hands are just amazing, and the color of her jumper is, beautiful, beautiful portrait.
The color of the jumper, it also matches the handle of the door. Like everything comes together so well.
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely print it and put it on your wall, Louise. Like,
yes, really. Definitely.
Okay, Tanya.
So I think the assignment was looking in. So obviously looking out, because it was just something Philippa mentioned.
Yes, you're right. Those who tried to sneak in a few images of people looking out, but I did.
Yeah. I love that she's in her pajamas. It looks like she's in her pajamas, and she just woke up to this and was like, wow, this is amazing.
I think that's exactly what happened. So yeah, well done, Tanya, for getting that story very clear. Oh, sorry, my alarm.
And I like the frame that she's framed by that one window pane as well. Yeah.
The one thing I probably would have done, Tanya, is it's very blue. So maybe in post-production, I would have just warmed it up just a slight, because it's very, very blue. I don't know how you feel about that, Rachel.
I definitely agree, because the first thing you notice is the blue.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, well done, Tanya. Zoe.
Again, we're on this theme of like utter boredom, desolation of lockdown. I think that this photo wouldn't be taken, a year ago.
Yes, you're right.
It's just so much of our time. I love that the reflection of the house. I think if you composed it, or maybe even just cropped it a little bit, or go back, and just the composition is a little bit off. So you have the reflection, you have the boy in the computer, which is really interesting, and the room as well. But the left-hand corner with the sofa and the other window, I think it's just a bit too far away from him in a way.
Okay, yes.
So maybe a slightly different composition, or maybe I always take a lot of photographs, so I would, play around with moving the camera and moving myself around a little bit to try to get the best angle.
And Zoe, you could always try that just for the purpose of this shot, even in post-production, just cropping it just to see. What I really like about this is I love the shapes at the top, which is the reflection of the houses opposite.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so clear, and there's something really interesting about those shapes.
It's like outside and inside as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you can, you know, it's not just, if you didn't have that, it wouldn't be, I don't know, there's something interesting about that.
Yeah, and the reflection of the window on the left, you know, that's what makes that white, the interior white wall so interesting. It's got all these layers of reflection on them. Well done, Zoe. I would like to say Zoe she's still on the workshop learning. So I would like to give a big shout out, well done for actually putting something in there. She's only been on 2, we're running 4 workshops at the moment, which is the beginner workshops. And she's only been on 2. To achieve this so early, I'm very impressed. And my daughter's asking me if she presses to join. Okay, Natalie.
What I love most about this is like the handprints on it, and you know, the kind of, because there's like in a lot of these photos there's this kind of steamy kind of, you can see you're stuck indoors and it's humid and it's rainy outside.
Yeah.
But just his, like, you know, he's been kind of, his hands have been all over that window, and it's kind of like kid slime all over it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And he has such a sweet look on his face.
I think it might be a little girl. I'm not sure, but
is it a boy or I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you know, again, I love the hand and his little face.
Yeah.
And Dad's probably there, kind of, you know, looking after him. Yeah, I just love the messiness of it. You know, that kind of, that moment that we all know as mothers of, you know, you have this to whatever, however old he is.
Yeah.
It's too old to remember how old this kid is, but that kind of early when they're all, you know, they're running around all over the house, and yeah, nice moment captured.
Yeah, yeah, smudges and snot everywhere, kind of thing.
Yes.
I really like. It almost looks like his face, or I'm saying his. I think it's a girl. Natalie, I'm really sorry. I think her face looks lit. I don't know if it is or not, but I really like the fact we can see her face.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas in some of the others, you know, the face was really dark and you couldn't see the focus, but here you definitely, and if her, I guess it is a her, if her face wasn't lit, then the photograph wouldn't have been very good, would it?
Absolutely agree, yeah. Again, one little note I would say is the white
blue
looks very blue, yeah. So in post-production, it just, if anyone who I'm saying this and don't understand, just do ask me, because I can show you quite easily how to just bring down the blues. But I'm with you on this, Rachel. Yeah, this is one of my favourites as well. So well done, Natalie.
I love the composition and how she's looking out, and just the stickers on the back. I think it's, but I think this could have done with a little bit more of light on her face.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole composition is really good, though.
I really like the composition, and actually, I think probably the only one who's also shown a bit of outside.
Yes.
Which yeah, is really interesting. Which actually I included in a lot of the slideshows of other people's work. So yeah, and I probably think we could have. You're quite high. You're chopping off a little bit of your daughter's torso. We could actually just bring the frame lower a little bit. But yeah, like you, Rach, I really like it. I like the light, that you can see the light flooding outside. That's kind of what I'm quite drawn to in this photo. Okay, well done. Trudy.
I love how his face is framed by this pane speaking out, he or she, I don't know if it's what, but yeah, obviously that's really striking. And I could say, oh yeah, it should be more in focus, but I quite like the softness and the light of it.
Again, I think it's almost like a bit like again.
It's what?
It's a bit like a painting.
Yes. Yeah, it's very dreamy.
That's the word, dreamy. Really well, Trudy. I think that might be it, actually. Yeah. So well done, Trudy. Dreamy photo. Hey.
Hello.
So
choose.
Yeah. What was it like receiving them all?
It was great, and I was really overall really impressed with him. And you know, some of them could just be straight on a gallery wall, obviously, and that that's really impressive. That people that aren't photographers and are just kind of it's a hobby, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How wonderful the photos are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was really very, very impressed with everyone. So drum roll.
I would give it, so I think it was really hard, and I had two that I was deciding on, actually. And the reason why I chose one over the other was just about a little bit more of the story.
Interesting.
So I might mention the other one as well.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
But anyway, I thought the one of the two brothers was just a magnificent photo. I love the.
Oh, is that Lucy's?
I think so. Can you bring it up?
Yeah, I can bring it up. Hold on, let me just share my screen. Oh, this is really exciting. Oh my God, Lucy will not be expecting this. Oh, right, let's have a look. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, you're going to be in the corner of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a fantastic photo. I absolutely love the look on his face. The brother looking up at him, the kind of the tension between the two of them, and his like looking up, kind of he admires his brother, this kind of angry, bored, whatever look on his face. He's looking out at his mom. The reflection of the reflection in the background. I just think it's a wonderful photograph.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. And I think he was, Lucy was either telling me or sharing it in the Facebook, I think he literally was well pissed off with her. So the story is real, and that's obviously been captured and communicated really well to someone who's doesn't know them and hasn't seen this picture before. So
I think the emotion in it is really wonderful, and it goes beyond just, okay, kid, you stand there because I have to take a photo for my class. Kind of, it's just the emotion there is so strong, and the tension between the two brothers, and the way he's framed by the door in the background, the light, the window. Like I said, the only thing I might do is just take out that white strip on the right-hand corner.
And would that be the right and the bottom?
No, definitely not the bottom.
Okay.
Because the way it's kind of framed at his torso.
Mm-hmm.
If you took that out, it would look like it was cropped funny.
Fine. Okay, that's
so, yeah, just kind of crop in a little bit, teeny bit off the top and that white bit on the side. And fantastic. I mean, it could be like a Sally Mann photo or something.
Oh, yes, I totally
Emmett. What was that kid's name? Emmett?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they don't know about Sally, they probably do if they're doing motherhood, but
they haven't actually. I'm sharing them, Sally Mann, with those of you who are coming along to the documentary workshop, actually.
But this could be straight out of a kind of Sally Mann moment of yeah. So I think it's a wonderful photograph. My runner-up would have been the girl with the orange sweater.
Hey. Yeah.
I mean, it obviously it looks a little bit more like editorial, not editorial.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, it's more.
It does. I mean, it looks a little more like a magazine.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's an amazing portrait as well. Really wonderful. I love the hands, the colors, everything. It's just absolutely perfect. So, really,
this is more of a portrait, as you said, more a bit more glossy.
Yes, glossy is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, the other one is more, I guess, documentary and gritty, and a bit more realism, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So this one, it looked like and nothing wrong with it. It looked like the mother said, can you do this? Can you put your hands here? Yeah. Whereas the two brothers, it looks like it was a moment that was just miraculously captured.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right, well done, girls, and well done, Lucy. You are the winner of the January challenge.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Lucy. That's such good news. And Rachel, I can't thank you enough. It's been really insightful for me. Oh, hey, Aaron. It's been really insightful for me to hear your comments, and I'm sure all the motherhooders will get loads out of this. So thank you so much.
Well done, everybody.
Later, darling. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.